Hello everyone, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. I have a totally different view today because sometimes at night when I do the videos and I have the white wall behind me like I usually do with the camera light I have, it gives a little bit of a glare, but my face is super bright right now. And you get to see the ugly drapes that we have up because my landlord says I can't take them down. But anyway, today I want to talk about a very important topic, and that topic is what the benefits are of becoming more rational. This is the question, right? In OCD recovery, what does acceptance do outside of all the other things that moving with uncertainty can do? Creating distance between the sensations and the thoughts, but still having to work on acceptance of the worst case scenario. Any of the other things that we do, exposures, anything, but what acceptance has, what unconditional self-life and other acceptance has, is it gives you the ability to create a robust frame of recovery that other things can't do. This is going to be a little bit more serious of a video because it is a little bit more serious of a topic in my opinion. Let's say we have someone who moves with thoughts or thoughts. Again, nothing wrong with that if it creates distance between the thoughts. If you're moving with thoughts or thoughts in uncertainty and it doesn't seem to be unlatching, one more than likely needs to start applying unconditional self-life and other acceptance to really get underneath that worst case scenario. And that's really the premise of what REBT is. Albert Ellis talks about worst case scenario for numerous books that I've read by him. I've read probably 5 books by him. So let's say something happens in your life and you've been moving with uncertainty and thoughts or thoughts, and you've gotten arbitrarily 50% better. Well, if something real happens, you have no tools now. If your OCD morphs, which it more than likely will, you have no tools now. And this is a super important thing to talk about because it's really the most important part of the recovery process, in my opinion. Let's take anger for an example. Anger is a great, anger management. Just look at all the things in society we have based around anger. Look at the way people talk to each other, everything. Boop, boop. I see you over there. Milo's chewing on a toy, and I don't know how loud it is in the video. So that's really important because anger is a natural emotion. But the way that we have the heightened experience of anger, and one time Kirsty said in a really old video that anger can almost become its theme of itself. If you really want anger to be gone and you study, I can't stand the anger sensations. Well, when someone reaches a point of anger, which we probably all will at some point in our lives because we're humans and we're fallible, the persistence of anger is coming from a belief. If someone does something that you believe wrongs you, or they do something hurtful to you, whether it's emotionally or physically, the belief you have about that situation, that person, that scenario is really driving the heightened experience of the emotions. This is the basis of REBT. This is the basis of Stoicism. This is just looking at the world through a rational lens. I'm not saying I'm never going to feel angry again. It's not about never feeling frustrated again. It's about that catastrophic, chronic anger, chronic guilt, chronic anxiety, chronic shame, and all those emotions that tend to really lead people in the wrong direction. And they don't really add a lot of benefit to our lives. One of my favorite books by Albert Ellis, How to Control Your Anger Before It Controls You, or it's How to Destroy Your Anger Before It Destroys You. I think it is Destroy, which is a more realistic form because anger, look at Milo in the back over there. Because anger does tend to do not a lot of good things in your life. Let's look at sensory motor, right? What happened to me? Let's do a little bit of my background. I'm sure many of you know. Got stuck, went to a mental hospital. Most people never go to a mental hospital. My wife and I didn't know what to do. We didn't know Rob. Went to the mental hospital, got out. I had severe tinnitus for 3 months. Doesn't matter if it was real or not. I still hear it. I've been doing a lot of music festivals. I'm going back to Ultra Music Festival in March. Can't wait. Totally off topic. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Year 6. Maybe I should do a video at Ultra in front of like 100,000 people. They'll all be like, what is this kid doing? So it's really given me the perspective to recover from sensory motor OCD. Most people who I talk to with sensory motor OCD are in a good spot. Especially if they're further along, they've gotten more comfortable with things. They're seeing it from a different perspective. But the driving reason why I think the majority of them have not gotten to where they want to go is because they haven't worked on acceptance. And OCD, when chronically lashed, will convince you of anything. Anything it convince you of, it's going to convince you of. So it's really important to cover these things, because the biggest misconception, and I've heard this from a New York Times bestseller, is that Stoicism is a lack of all emotions. What is it, boo-boo? And that is 100% a misconception about Stoicism. What Stoicism gives you the ability to do, what RBT gives you the ability to do, is look at things in the rational lens, allow yourself to feel discomfort if it's present, whether it is the anger, you haven't quite worked on your beliefs yet, whether it is anxiety and chronic guilt. Look at those at face value, they're uncomfortable sensations or thoughts or images, and work on the belief that you have to move forward. That is super important. He's just crying over there. He's needy at this time at night. He just is always like, give me treats, give me toys. And that's a great example, because this used to bother the living shit out of me. Him interrupting. You know how many times I've made videos now where they start, the other day I was making a video, I was like 8 minutes in, not 8, probably 5. They started barking at the squirrel, completely restarted the video. That would have bothered me so much before, but it doesn't bother me anymore at all. It just I see it as something funny. And things like this happen in life. This is a real video to show you that things pop up. Milo's barking, he's chewing on toys. Life is full of frustrations. The more you think life has to go your way, the less OCD recovery it eludes you. Recovery eludes you. Any anxiety. This goes way beyond OCD. This goes way beyond mental health disorders. This is for anyone who views life and looks at life in the primary view of musts, demands, and oughts, which is the natural. If I didn't have OCD, I would not be the way I am today. I would be super superficial, which I probably am very superficial compared to some people. I mean, I like the way my hair looks. I like the way my body looks and stuff like that. But it's not the only thing about me anymore, which I've moved away from, which is really important. I lost it. It's been a day. It will come back to me. Give me a second. This is just another example, right? I just lost my train of thought right there, and I can come right back to it. Things are going to happen. This is actually a great example because of all the little things that just happened during this video to show you what happens and how your perspectives on it really determine the outlook you have on life. The symptoms you're experiencing, anxiety, OCD, your boss yelling at you, your partner being toxic. Toxic's a weird word, by the way. It's thrown around way too much. It has no meaning anymore. It's like trauma, narcissist, and toxic. Those words are so diluted, and although there are situations that are very toxic, it's so overused. These are the little things. I don't look at anything as toxic or trauma creating. If something really bad happened to me, I would think, whoa, that was unfortunate. But how can I change my views about this now to maybe learn something from it, to maybe not catastrophize and blame others? I heard a great quote today. I was listening to a podcast that Rob told me, and he was asked, the gentleman in the podcast was asked, he is in charge of high net worth individuals' money. He's a financial advisor, 7 figures and up only, so very prominent. And he said, word for word, the number one thing I see among successful people, and he wasn't just talking about money, because he's also a rabbi. He was talking about whether it's spiritual, money, religion, spiritual and religion, anything we want to talk about. He said they don't blame anyone for their problems. They take 100% responsibility. They try and take that responsibility and turn it into a positive. Now, I understand with a mental health disorder, it's not the easiest to see this at times, but it is something to keep in the back of your mind. If something doesn't go your way, blaming someone outright gets us nowhere. This is all part of rational mode of behavioral thinking. Part of just seeing life. It's not even RBT. It's just seeing life for what it is, right? And the more that we skew away from the objectiveness of what life is, let's take death for an example. I just talked about death the other day in the webinar. Death is very scary and very triggering for people. We look at it in the most rational sense. There's more than likely no afterlife. That doesn't mean you can't have faith, but the rational thinking and the more evidence that we have that points to that in the way of we don't really have any consciousness before we were born. our consciousness doesn't even really start until we're kind of like 2.5, 3. You know, we're just like, in the first few months of life, you're seeing shapes and color blobs and everything, and nobody remembers that, right? You're not meeting anyone that's like, I remember when I was 2. And if they say that, they're probably bullshitting you. But more than likely, there's no consciousness after death. You just cease to exist. Maybe all this is just like a meaningless nothing, right? It's just nothing. It has no meaning. It's so cool to talk about this stuff. It's non-triggering because I look at it in a rational way. No one's escaped death. No one more than likely needs to escape death. I think it's good that people die. I think recycling thoughts, I talk about that all the time. Steve Jobs, one of my favorite quotes from the 2004 commencement speech, Rob's heard me say that 100 times. He said, death is one of the greatest inventions of life. It takes out the new, it takes out the old and brings way for the new. And if something is triggering you, it's probably a good thing. People think that being triggered is bad. Being triggered is good because it gives you the opportunity to learn. Nobody grows in comfort. It is so cliche, but it is the fucking truth. All right? Bring it back the F word for this one. The fucking truth. You are going to grow through discomfort and uncertainty. It doesn't matter what the success is you define it as. Recovery from anxiety, moving up in your career, being a better husband or wife, whatever it is, you will have hardships. The sooner you work on not rushing, I just mean in the vast sense, that you learn to accept hardships for what they are, that no one escapes them, the better you're off. The better you're going to be. Man, I'm losing my words in this video. It's probably because I'm so excited to talk about this. I nerd out about this stuff now. Because it's just really important to talk about, right? You know, thoughts are great and all, and it gives people the ability to create distance, and uncertainty is great. Claire Weeks' book is mainly about uncertainty. We talk about that. But the reason why Albert Ellis is first on the reading list, is because it gives you the ability, even when things happen in your life that are outside anxiety, to look at them in a more rational way. Who says you deserve to be successful? Who says that life is supposed to be fair? If you only move with uncertainty, it will latch, especially if you're watching this with OCD, GAD, panic disorder, it's going to find a way to latch. So the fear of being stuck forever, breaking all this stuff down, I highly recommend watching all my videos. And let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what rational thinking has done for you. Let me know if you think rational thinking is bullshit. Tell me if you think I'm an idiot. I'm always willing to have a conversation. That's something, look at that. Let's talk about that before I end the video. I have the ability, this is so crazy, to listen to anything from vast political opinions, and I still have my opinions and beliefs, the vast religious, even though I'm agnostic/atheist, anything. I have one of my great friends up the street is a full-blown Christian. I am basically a full-blown agnostic atheist, and we have great conversations on a softball team together. You don't need to agree with everyone. This is what rational thinking is all about. It is about seeing the world for what it is, realizing that the world's full of different opinions, and the more you try and take people out for their opinions, or the more you try to change other people, you dilute rational thinking to a way to where you're only trying to move in certainty. I promise you it's not good. I hope you like this video. It's a little bit longer than I usually do. We're trying to keep them a little bit shorter now, 5 to 10 minutes for the time being. Just think it's just a little bit easier to watch. It's hard to watch a 25-minute video on a topic. I know, Momin, you love making those 38-minute videos. And I watch every minute of them, Momin. Don't think I don't. So thank you so much for watching. Again, comment down below. Let me know what you think. And as always, have a great day.